In August of 1972, you're witnessing a ferrying trip with Southern Steam Locomotive 4501 on a ferrying trip from Louisville to Cincinnati, Ohio, a one-way trip. You're on a sweeping curve here on your way to Cincinnati. Notice the nice foliage and greenery of this time of year, which makes for a good photograph. This was a trip that when you made this trip, you had to get back home, and thank God for the Greyhound bus. Those that rode up, we got a city bus, and the bus driver told us where to get off to get at Union Station to catch a bus at the Greyhound from there back to Louisville. There's a block signal along the main line. We're running along the track speed, and here we've met a freight on the opposite track coming to Louisville. We're headed to Cincinnati. There's a double line. There's a good shot of you for you to see the whole train. Shelbyville, Kentucky. Notice the crowd that has turned out today. Off we go. Red boards in position to protect our rear from another train hitting us. Again, running at track speed through the countryside on this fine day in August. We're crossing a trestle here across one of the creeks or ravines. There's some of the people and the passengers on the open observation on the rear of the train. We just can't cross the county road. Another sweeping curve. Going to duck underneath of an overpass here. One of the many county roads we'll duck under on our way to Cincinnati. A shot taken from back in the train itself, several coaches back from the engine, which makes for a good shot on a curve. Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Another good turnout. We're approaching Danville, Kentucky. This is where the train will turn on the Y to make its trip to Cincinnati from Danville. There's a tire for the yards. We're up on the Y itself now and backing around the Y so we can go to Cincinnati. The Danville Yards here services not only the line from Cincinnati to Danville, but also the line from Louisville, Kentucky to Danville, south to Chattanooga. Here we're refueling the tender with coal. There's a conveyor that's used. It takes the coal from a gondola and puts it into the bunker on the tender. There you can see some chunks of coal being. And we not only put the coal on, but we also watered the train and the steam engine, refueled with water in the tender. A head-end shot of the locomotive in Danville. There's your drivers in the firebox. There's a crew in the cab that's running the train today. People showed up with their cameras and to see the steam engine. They was all over the yards down here while we was there for a while. A nice close-up of the steam locomotive, the front end, head end. There's the light cars in the yard in the background and the overpass. It's a good landmark for any train trips you take to Danville coming into town. You're looking into the tender there, there's the slats on the coal bunker. There you can see the fire, the ash dropping out of the. There's a real good shot of hot embers falling into the ash pan. Off we go again. This time we're crossing the Kentucky River, and the Dix River is below us. We're on High Bridge. There's the river I just mentioned to you that flows underneath there. We're being chased not only on the ground but in the air. Lexington, Kentucky, that's the southern station. And again, a large crowd showed up for the train. Georgetown, Kentucky. Slowly moving into the station, out on the main line, running again. A nice straight section of track, beautiful curve to take a photograph. She's really putting out the smoke as we're going down on this sweeping curve. Another bridge over a ravine or a creek or river. There's a rail fan right there on the bridge. County highway. People were on there taking pictures. There's some rail fans chasing us all day long this went on. Wherever the road and the train track was together, we had a long string of cars. We're meeting another freight. Keep your heads and your hands inside, please. Out along the main line again with the double track. There you get a real good shot of the Pacers. Scared the devil out of the cattle. They went for the barn. A real long straight section down through here. There you can see the people hanging out of the vestibules, getting their photographs of the engine on the curves. There's the rear of the train taken from mid-train. Just crossed another road. Notice the hills in the background. And the greenery at this time of year. Everything's in full bloom. Sun's out, we're having a wonderful day. What better way to spend the day than riding on a steam train? Here we're getting ready to cross another trestle on a curve. Headed towards Cincinnati. You'll be there in a little. There's a smoke off the brake shoes as we're coming downhill into Erlanger, Kentucky. There's the bridge to Cincinnati, Ohio, ahead of you here at Ludlow, Kentucky. We'll cross this bridge as we're approaching the bridge now. More people to your left there to see the train into town. This double track main leads right into the Cincinnati Union Terminal in Cincinnati, Ohio. There's the dome of the Union Station. And the train sheds ahead of you. We're working our way into the station itself. There's the platforms off to your left.